येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसा विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। अज्ञानान्दस्य लोकस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। In the previous class, we were discussing the sutras related to Ruddhi Adeshaha. We discussed Ruddhi Rechi, by which Akara plus H letters results in Ruddhi Adesha. Upasarga Dhruti Dhatau Va Supyapi Shalehe. By Upasarga Dhruti Dhatau, if a Akara of a Upasarga is followed by Rukara of a Dhatu, then instead of Gunadesha, A plus Ro should be should result in Gunadesha by Adgunaha. Instead of that, this sutra by Upasarga Ruti Dhatau, this blocks Adgunaha and there will be Ruddhi Adesha. A plus Ru is equal to, instead of R, it becomes R. Va supyapi shalehe. By this sutra, if the dhatu, that rukaradi dhatu, if it is derived from a subanta, then this sutra upasarga dhruti dhatu is applied optionally. So there will be ruddhi adesha as well as gunadesha. A plus ru is equal to R as well as R. So in today's class, we shall study these 5 sutras. Edetathyursu atascha automshasoho yengi pararupam omangoscha. Among these 3 are related to Ruddhi Adeshaha. Edetathyursu atascha and yengi pararupam. The other 2 are not related to Ruddhi Adesha, but still we are going to study those 2 also since they are in the same sequence. This sutra, Yengi Pararupam, actually, this is an exception to Ruddhyadesha. It blocks the Ruddhyadesha and it gives Pararupa Ekadesha. So, we shall study that first. Yengi Pararupam. Yengi Pararupam. Yengi is the Saptami Ekavachana of Yeng Pararupam. Pratama Ekavachana of Pararupa. Anurutti. At from Adgunaha, Upasargat and Dhatau from Upasargat Ruti Dhatau. Here Ruti is not taken as Anuruti since there is Yengi here, but Dhatau is taken as Anuruti from Upasargat Ruti Dhatau. So the Anvayaha of the Sutra, At Upasargat, Akara of a Upasarga, if it is followed by Yeng letter of a dhatu, yengi dhatau, then purva parayoho ekaha. The purva and para, they combine to form eka purva rupam, kshamyatam, para rupam. This is the equation. Akara plus yeng letter, both combine to form pararupa. Pararupa means the second one. The second letter, whatever is there in the second position, that comes as an single adesha. For these 2, A plus A becomes A. But this A should be of a upasarga and this Yeng letter should be of a dhatu. Otherwise, this sutra is not applicable. So A plus Yeng becomes Yeng. Yeng means A and O. A Wong. A and O. A plus A is equal to A. A plus O is equal to O. For example, if we consider these 2 cases, pra plus ejate, para plus voshati. In these 2 cases, actually it is A plus A, it is A plus O. So Ruddhi Rechi is actually applicable here. But this sutra blocks Ruddhi Rechi. here. Instead of Ruddhi Rechi, Yengi Pararupam is applicable since pra is a upasarga, Yejate is a dhatu form, and also para and voshati. So by blocking Ruddhi Rechi, we get pra plus a as pre instead of prai. Instead of praijate, it becomes prejate. Similarly, para plus voshati, instead of paraushati, it becomes paroshati. So this is about Yengi Pararupam. If akara is akara of your upasarga, that's important. If akara of your upasarga is followed by Yeng letters, then there will be Purva Parayoho Ekaha Pararupa Adeshaha. Pararupa means the Paravarna, the second letter. The next sutra is Yet Edat Yudsu. Padachedaha Yeti Edhati Udsu. There will be Yanadesha here. E followed by A. So Ikarasya Yakaraha by Iko Yanachi. Here also Iko Yanachi. Ikarasya Yakaraha. So it becomes Yeti plus Edati. Et Edati. Edati plus Udsu. Edat Yudsu. This is a single word. Yet Edat Yudsu. Saptami Bahuvachana. Actually, I have written one. It should be 3. It is Saptami Bahuvachana. At Ruddhihi are the Anurti from the previous sutras. At from Adgunaha, Ruddhihi from Ruddhirechi. So if At, the Anvaya is At Eti Edati Udsu Purva Parayoho Ekaha Ruddhihi. If Akara is followed by Eti, it is the Latlakara form of E Dhatu. Actually, it is not restricted to Latlakara forms. Any Lakara forms can be there. It is a symbolic form that is given here. And Yed Dhatu. Any forms, Lakara forms of Yed Dhatu. If it is followed, if Akara is followed by Yeti or Yedati or Ut, then there will be Ruddhi Adesha. Actually, if A is followed by A or if A is followed by A of Yedati, by Ruddhi Rechi, A plus A becomes high and A plus A becomes a here also. Again, what is the need of this sutra is the question, because At Yeti Yedati Udsu Purva Parayoho Ekaha Ruddhihi. Consider this example. Upa plus Yeti. Here Ruddhi Rechi is applicable. Then what is the need of this sutra? Because this Ruddhi Rechi is blocked by Yengi Pararupam. Yengi Pararupam is applicable here. Because Upa is a Upasarga. Yeti, this Yeng letter of a Dhatu form. So, Yengi Pararupam is applicable. Again, Pa plus A becomes Pe only. Pararupa Desha. But we want Ruddhi Adesha in these cases. The forms which we see in the language, they are with Ruddhi Adesha, not with Pararupa Adesha. We want Ruddhi Adesha. So this sutra is constructed to block Yengi Pararupam. So in this case, Upa plus Yeti or Upa plus Yedate, we don't want Pararupa Adesha. So to block Yengi Pararupam, this sutra is constructed. So Yengi Pararupam is again blocked by Yeti Edat Yudsu, and we will have Ruddhi Adesha here. Upa plus Yeti, it becomes Upaiti. Upaiti, not Upeti. Upaiti. Similarly, Upa plus Yedate, it becomes Upaidhate. Only in case of these two dhatus, Yeti and Yedate. Otherwise, in all other dhatu forms where that Yeng letters are seen, then there will be Pararupa Adesha by Yengi Pararupam. This Yeti is the Latlakara form of In Dhatu, and Yedate is the Latlakara form of Yed Dhatu. need not be, as I told before, they need not be let lakara forms. They can be of any lakara forms, but they should start with ekara. Here also, Yedate should start with Yed Dhatu form should start with Ekara. Then only this sutra is applicable. If the same in Dhatu, if the Dhatu form is does not start with Ekara, then there will not be Rudyadesha. Example here, it is Letlakara form here, Upa plus Eti Upa iti. This is Langlakara form. Upa is the Upasarga. Here, is the Adagama, which is there in Langlakara. You need not worry about this. A is from the Dhatu, which has undergone Gunadesha. E has become A. And Thi of Tipu Pratyaya, there the Tikara Lopa has been done. So at this stage, A plus A, here, actually this A is not from a Upasarga. It need not be a Upasarga. Because there is no Anurutya of Upasarga here. It is hard Agama. It is an art Agama. It is not Upasarga. Still, this sutra is applicable. Anyway, this sutra, this case can be handled by Ruddirechi because Yengi Pararupam is anyway not applicable. Still, we cannot say this A plus A is equal to high by Ruddirechi because of the it's mentioned in this sutra. Yeti. Because of the mention of Yeti, we can't say this is by Ruddirechi. We have to say this is by Yeti the Tudsu. A plus A becomes I. Okay. We completed Yeti and Yedati portion. Then Udsu, the third portion. Purvaparayo Ekaha Ruddihi. Ut is an Agama. We shall see one example for that here. Vishwavah is a Pratipadikam. Ta is the Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachana Pratyaya, Supratyaya. There is a sutra, Vaha Woot, 64132, 132, fourth pada of sixth chapter. So, there will be Ut Adesha. It is not Agama, Shamitam, it is not Agama, it is Adesha to Vah. So, the Vah word or the words which end with Vah, they will get Vah Ut as Adesha. Here Takara is it gets deleted. Only U remains here. So, Vishwa Vahavut. By Vahavut, actually there is a Anurutyap Samprasaranam to this sutra from the previous sutra. Vaso Samprasaranam is the sutra 64131. So that Samprasaranam comes as Anurutti to this sutra. Since Samprasaranam deals with N letters. So the end letter here in this word is in Vaha. That Vakara is end letter. We will study what is Samprasaranam in some later classes. You need not worry about that. So Samprasaranam deals with Vakara, end letters. That Vakara is a end letter. So this U comes as an Adesha in place of Vakara, not in place of Akara. Usually the Adeshas, they replace the last letter of the word to which they are substituted. But here, since Samprasaranam comes as Anurutti, this U replaces this Vakara. So, this Vakara has been replaced by Ut and Vakarottara Akara, this is, and H plus this Takara is it, and A is the Drushya Rupa form of this top Pratyaya. So, this Takara, as I told, is an letter and gets deleted. So only U remains. So at this stage, U plus A here, U plus A is there. So at this stage, there can be application of echo energy U followed by a ik letter followed by H letter. If we do the Yanadesha here, again we will get Vishwavaha only because U becomes Vakara, Va plus A, Va. So there will not be any Prayojana of Samprasaranam. Samprasaranam actually is somewhat, it is like reverse of echo energy. In echo energy, ik letters will be replaced by Yanadesha. In Samprasaranam, N letters will be replaced by ik letters. So once we replace N letters by ik letters, there will be some vowel after that ik letters. Then there will be echo energy which can be applied. So if we apply echo energy, then there will be no sense in making Samprasaranam here. So there is a sutra, Samprasarana Cha 61108. So we were at 89. This is 108 in the same sequence. So that means we are going to study this. By Samprasarana Cha, whenever there is Samprasaranam, the Samprasarana letter and the next which the letter which is follow next vowel which is present after that Samprasarana letter, they both combine to form Purva Rupa Ekadesha. Purva Rupa, it is not Pararupa, Purva Rupa. This U and A becomes U. This is Purva Rupa Adesha. Whatever the Purva Varna is there, that comes as Adesha here. By Samprasaranacha is the sutra. So it becomes U. Okay. At this stage, this Akara of the Vishwa is followed by U. We know that Ad Gunaha is applicable here. A plus U is equal to O by Ad Gunaha. But we want Ruddhi Adesha here. So the mention of Ut in the sutra is there for that. So instead of Gunadesha by Ad Gunaha, it is an this Utsu Kesu is an exception to Ad Gunaha. So instead of Gunadesha, we will get Ruddhi Adesha here. Actually, Ad Guna is applicable, but it is blocked by Et Edat Yudsu. So we will get Ruddhi Adesha. A plus U is equal to Au. Vishwauha is the Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachana form of Vishwavah. There are some other instances where this Ut Adesha is given. It is not only for Vah, the word Vah. In some other cases also that Ut Adesha is given. In all those cases, wherever Akara is followed by Ut Adesha, there will be Ruddhi Adesha by this sutra. Et Edat Yudsu. So we completed Et Edat Yudsu. The next sutra is Atascha. For this Atascha, again Ruddhi comes as Anurutti from Ruddhi Rechi. Atascha 6190. Ataha Cha. Ataha is the Panchami Ekavachana of Art. The Anurutti of Chi comes as comes from echo energy, because if we have to take Echi as Anurutti from Ruddhi Rechi, then there is no need of this sutra. We will going to study that. And Ruddhihi is the Anurutti of Ruddhi comes from Ruddhi Rechi, as I told before. Ataha Achi Purva Parayoho Ekaha Ruddhihi. Why Achi? Why not Echi? Is the question. We are going to answer that now. So by Atascha, if Art is followed by E, or Art is followed by U, or Art is followed by Ru, here Takara is an ith letter, so only here A is there. A plus E, A plus U, A plus Ru. In all these cases, we know that Ad Gunaha is applicable. So we don't want gunadesha here, so this sutra atascha is applied here by blocking adgunaha. So ataha achi purvaparayoho ekaha ruddhihi. Instead of gunadesha there will be ruddhi. So a plus e, instead of becoming a it becomes I. Art plus wo, instead of becoming o it becomes au. Art plus ru, instead of becoming it becomes r. Ruddhi adesha instead of gunadesha. Okay. And art plus a or art plus I is equal to I by artascha. Art plus o, art plus au is equal to how. Art plus I is equal to again a. These are again by artascha. But for these cases there is no need of this sutra, because a plus a is equal to I, a plus I is equal to I by ruddhirechi. Anyway, these two cases can be achieved by ruddhirechi. And the third one, art plus a is equal to a, that can be achieved by akasavarne dirghaha. A plus a is equal to a, akaha savarne dirghaha. But we want this sutra in case of these ik letters a plus e. There is no sutra which gives a plus e is equal to a, and there is no sutra which gives a plus u is equal to au. But we want that whenever these ik letters are preceded by art agama, it is not any random dirgha akara, it should be that odd agama, then only this sutra is applicable. So some of the examples, art plus e is equal to I. This art is the agama in lang lakara. Dhatu is iksh. There a is the vikarna pratyaya shap. That ikara tip is deleted. So in this case, a plus e by atascha we will get ruddhi adesha. A plus e becomes I. So it becomes aikshata. It is the pratama purusha lang lakara form of the iksh dhatu. Similarly for a plus o, again art agama. So in lang lakara, lung lakara, and lung lakara, there will be art agama before the dhatu. If the dhatu begins with a vowel, then there will be dirgha akara. If it begins with a consonant, an al letter, then there will be rasva akara, apatat. There pakara is there in the beginning of the dhatu, so rasva akara, apatat, like that. If the dhatu begins with dirgha, kshamitam, if it begins with a vowel, an ach letter, then there will be art agama, dirgha akara. So a plus u is equal to, here instead of o it becomes au, auhata. Similarly art plus rudd, and this ya is the vikarna pratyaya of the divadi gana, because this dhatu rudd is from divadi gana, fourth gana, where the vikarna pratyaya is shen, the drushya rupa of which is ya. So this is kartari only, not karmani. So in lang lakara this is r, instead of it is r, ardyat. Since this is parasmaipadi dhatu, we will end up with takara. In atmanepadi forms we end with ta. It is akara, not takara. So this is about artascha. So this artascha is useful in cases where this art agama is followed by ik letters. Even for lu also we need that, but there is no dhatu which starts with lu, so I have not given any examples for lu. So this is about artascha. The next sutra is autom shasoho. Autom shasoho. This is not related to ruddhi or guna. The padacheda of this is a plus votaha plus amshasoho. A plus votaha, autaha, a plus o is equal to how by ruddhirechi. And this akara after that visarga and then akara, this case results in this o, and there will be Purvarupadesha. But this a plus autaha, splitting autaha into a plus autaha is little tricky. We can't guess by looking at the word. So we have to depend on the commentary. So whatever the commentary say, that we have to taken into consideration. And this a is pratama, autaha is panchami, amshasoho is saptami, dvivachana. Here this I told this is pratama. Actually, pratama vibhaktiyanta form of is not a. If you consider this as a Srilinga word, then it is okay. It will be in pratama. But how can we say just a letter as in Srilinga or Pullinga? But sometimes some words will be like that only. We have to impose the appropriate vibhakti on that word. So this pratama is imposed on this word a here. Autaha amshasoho ekaha purvaparayo. Kshamitam, ekaha is repeated twice. Ekaha purvaparayoho a. This is an extra ekaha here. So the meaning of the sutra is o plus Otaha amshasoho. If otaha means o, by taparakarana, it is only dirgha o. So if o is followed by amshasoho, and shas pratyaya. If it is followed by or shas pratyaya, in shas pratyaya dushya rupa is as. So I have taken as here. But sutra cannot it is not. If you write the sutra as asoho, it will be difficult because even the drushya rupa of jas, gnasi, gnas, all of them is as only. But this sutra is applicable only for shas pratyaya, so shas is mentioned here. So if o of a word is followed by dvitiya ekavachana vibhakti pratyaya, or as of shas dvitiya bahuvachana of dvitiya bahuvachana pratyaya, then there will be purva parayoho ekaha a. That adesha is given in the sutra itself. A is the adesha. It is in pratama. So here o plus a becomes a. O plus a is equal to become a in both the cases. Actually, in the sutra, what is the utsarga? Which sutra the Sautamshasoho blocks? Actually, O plus A is a case of Ho Yavayavaha. This is an H letter and this is an H letter. So by Ho Yavayavaha, O should become Au. So by blocking Avadesha, we have A Adesha here. So instead of O plus it should become avam. Instead of avam, it is am. Similarly, O plus H should become was. Instead of was, it is as. Some of the examples: go is the pratipadika, cow plus go plus a by autom shasoho. O plus a becomes a. So it is ga plus gam, and go plus as is equal to gas. Again, O plus I is equal to a. So gaha, sakarasya visargaha. This is about autam shasoho. So this sutra is applicable only for and this shas pratyaya. And again, anyway, there will be pratipadika only here. No need to worry about the vokara here, but the sakara should be of or shas pratyaya. So in those two cases, for vokaranta pratipadikas, for the and shas pratyaya, there will be purva parayoho ekaha a adeshaha is the meaning of this sutra. So we completed autom shasoho. The next under the last sutra for today is om angoscha. Om angoscha. So this is the 95th shloka. Sutra. Om angoho. Kshamyatam, it is not 70. It is 72. Saptami dvivachana. and this is avyaya 0 0. Anurutti, this is Saptami. We want Panchami as well as Pratama. So Pratama is from Pararupam. Yengi Pararupam Om Angoscha. Yengi there will be Pararupam. Om Angoscha. Om Angoho Cha. And from Adgunaha you take At as Anurutti. So At Omangoscha Pararupam. It is very easy to interpret by yourself if you can make out the Panchami, Pratama, Saptami, these and Anuruttis from the previous sutras. So At, so it is Akara which is followed by Om or Ang. Then there will be they both combined to form Ekaha Pararupam. So A plus O, Om, A plus Ang. In these two cases, there will be Pararupam. Pararupam means this A plus O results in O, A plus A results in A only. Actually, A plus O here, Rudirechi is applicable because O is a H letter. Rudirechi is applicable. By blocking Rudirechi, we have Omangoscha. So A plus O, instead of becoming O, it becomes O only. For example, Shivaya Om Namaha. Here, Shivaya, this Shivaya ends with Akara, which is followed by Om. It cannot be any O, it should be Om only. So, Akara followed by Om, then there will be Pararupa. So, Shivayom instead of Shivayom, Shivayom Namaha. Ya plus O is equal to Yo. Then the second case is A plus Ang. Here Akasavarna Dirgha is applicable. Actually, we can't say it is blocking Akasavarna Dirgha. Anyway, by Akasavarna Dirgha is also we get this Dirghadesha only. By this sutra also we were getting this Dirgha Akara as Adesha. In both the cases, but if we apply Akasavarna Dirgha, there will be Dirghadesha. If we apply Omangosha, then also there will be Dirghadesha. Okay, the question is then why Ang in this sutra? Consider this case Adya plus Yenkati. Yenkati is the Dhatu form. Actually, this Yenk at this stage Adya plus Yenkati, this Akara is followed by Yekara. So this is a case of Rudirechi. A plus A is equal to high. A plus A is equal to high. We know that Rudirechi is applicable here, but this Yenkati is formed from Ang Upasarga and Inkati. Inkati is the Dhatu form. So this Ang is the Upasarga which is added to this Dhatu form. So there is Sandhi. A plus E is equal to A by Adgunaha. Because between a Dhatu and Upasarga there will be Samhita. So A plus E is equal to A. So whatever we are seeing is it is actually A plus Inkati. But by looking at the forms, we can't say that it is A plus E. But we know that this is formed from Ang plus Inkati. So even if we get to make the Sandhi between Adya plus Inkati, if it is even if it starts with A, if that is formed from Ang, then we cannot use Rudirechi here. Adya plus Inkati. In that case, we have to split and we have to make the Sandhi between this Akara of Adya and Ang of the that Ang Upasarga. Then we have, so here actually Adya plus Inkati, that Rudirechi is applicable as we saw. But this Omangoscha blocks that Rudirechi and it gets applied. So here you see Adya plus Ang plus Inkati. Here instead of, usually there will be Sandhi between A plus E, but this is an exception to that rule. So this akara, if it is followed by ang, then this ang should always combine with this akara instead of the next ach letter. So there will be sandhi between these two letters first, then there will be sandhi between the next letter. So this a plus a, they combine to form ang pararupa ekadesha, that is a only. So it becomes adya inkati. Now a plus e, this a plus e becomes a by adgunaha. So adya inkati. So if you don't have ang in the sutra, then adya plus enkati becomes adyainkati by ruddhirechi. A plus a becomes I, but the correct form is enkati. So we have ang in this sutra. So whatever I tried to tell is, if a dhatu forms is formed with ang as upasarga, even if there are more than one upasarga, here the first upasarga should be ang. In that case, if the previous word ends with rasva akara or dirgha akara, any akara, if ends with akara, then there will be sandhi karya between this akara and this ang upasarga. Then we have to do the sandhi karya between this word, the resultant letter, and the first letter of the next word. So Shivaya Om Namaha, Shivaya Om Namaha, Adhyayenkati, Adhyenkati. These are the examples. Now consider this example. Deva Alaya is equal to Devalaya. Here, this Alaya is a Dhatu form. It is a Krudanta. Anyway, it is derived from Dhatu. Here, A is the Upasarga. Ang Upasarga is used here. So this is Ang Upasarga. This is Akara of the word Deva. So here also Omangosha is applicable and is applied by Omangosha only. This Devalaya, the word has been derived. Actually, when we study the sandhis, we usually give the example of Deva plus Alaya for Savarnadirgha sandhi. Deva plus Alaya is equal to Devalaya. But actually, this form Devalaya is from this sutra Omangosha, not from Akasavarne Dirgha. So for the beginners, it is okay to say it is from Savarna Sandhi or it is from Akasavarne Dirgha. But by Shastra Drushti, but in accordance with Shastra, to be precise, it is from Omangoscha. Akara is followed by Ang, then there will be application of this sutra instead of Akasavarna Dirgha. So A plus Ang is equal to Pararupa. This is about Omangoscha. This way we completed all these 5 sutras. Dhanyavadaha.